Hello, I'm Colin Green, and you are listening to Spike Pit. Alright guys, hope this episode finds you well. I'm diving back into the archives, pulling out an episode from 2018. This is episode 37, following on from a recent re-release of 36. I thought you might enjoy it. Some of the information's clearly a little bit out of date by now, but there's some familiar voices from, well, back in 2018, and even a mention of G+. Oh my goodness, G+. The golden age of RPG social media. Enjoy. I'm kicking off today's episode with a special call-in. Check it out.
Hey Colin, this is Jason from Random Screed. Hey, I just listened to your grab bag episode where you're talking about coming to Lake Geneva, and all I can say is you should do it. Love to see you there. Come to GaryCon, brother. It will be awesome. Oh yeah, I got someone who wants to say hello.
Hey Colin, this is Heidi, Jason's wife, and I just wanted to tell you I've been listening to your shows, and I think you are really excellent at it. I love listening to you. I love your accent and the way you talk about things. It's just so good and interesting. Keep it going.
All right, Colin, there she is. You got to hear what I get to hear every day. Isn't that exciting? All right, buddy. Keep it going, and I'll talk to you later.
So that's Jason and Heidi. Thanks for calling in. I aim to entertain. Sometimes it perhaps works. Sometimes it doesn't. But I'm glad, Heidi, you're enjoying the show, and Jason, as ever, thanks for calling in, guys. And as for Lake Geneva, Jason, it would be like a pilgrimage for me. It's something, almost like a bucket list thing. But, haven't got any solid plans, but it's something I've thought about many a time. So last episode I said I'd been working on some random tables, encounter tables, and I would talk about them in this episode. So that is what I'm going to do. Basically, I'm not DMing currently, so that's not entirely true. I'm not DMing for the Monday group at the moment, and I'm taking this opportunity to do a little bit of prep for when I get the campaign up and running again. I've been running some little side sessions on the side with Arfed and my youngest, and some one-to-one with my youngest as well, and it's all set in the same campaign world. So what I've been doing is I've been having a closer look through the 5e book, Xanathar's Guide to Everything, and in the back there's some environment, or what would you call it, terrain related monster encounter tables, random tables. And what I've done is, because I love playing with tables and rolling on tables, but I don't want to do it whilst I'm at the table, so I've just taken a post-it note and an index card, and on there I can make 10 lines of text comfortably. So that's handy. That's 1 to 10, and then I just roll up random encounters for, say, hills, and I'll be more specific, so I might put, Moonstone Hills or something, and then I'll do one for Neverwinter Woods, and then Sword Mountains, stuff like that. So each card is specific to a terrain type, and there'll just be 10 encounters on there, currently taken from Xanathar's, but I'm going to work in other tables, and then I also randomly determine the number, if there's monsters involved or creatures involved, the number involved, and I'll also put a reference to where you can find the stats. So mostly at the moment that's in the 5e Monster Manual. But what I'm also doing is I'm going through a few of my other OSR products, things like Sharp Swords and Sinister Spells, looking at the random tables in there that provide reasons for the encounter. So, you know, say it's bandits, you know, I'll randomly determine, you know, what the bandits are up to, or I'll just think of something. But Tim at Gothridge Manor has got some Tim Shorts on G Plus and on his Patreon site. He did some random tables for generating more interesting groups of bandits. So just mentioning bandits has put that in my mind. You can check that out if you go to his Patreon or look up Gothridge Manor on G Plus, and you'll find it through there. There's links and whatnot. If you have any trouble finding, if ever I talk about anything and you can't track it down, you can always catch me on G Plus, or I hang out on the Audio Dungeon Discord, or you can send me a voice message on Anchor, and I'll try and help with a query. But yeah, so I've been making these little tables up, and they're really handy because, being index cards, you know, there's enough on there to get you going. There's 10 on each one, like I say, so I can pick from that list of 10, or I can randomise that 10, you know, because sometimes I like to do the play to see what happens type of thing, and I don't always want to go into a session knowing exactly what's planned to happen. It's funny, Eric Tankar was talking about this on his Tavern Chat podcast, this idea that his wife made the observation that he was a better GM when he was improvising than when he was running a planned out scenario or session. So yeah, I kind of think I might be the same. I certainly enjoy the sort of a little bit of adrenaline or a little bit of excitement from discovering a situation and kind of bouncing something off the players, and then being able to see what they bring to the table, and then, you know, without a planned out thing, you're free to go with you know, your mood or the events that are unfolding at the table. I just like that flexibility. But yeah, you know, have a framework of organisation, and then just kind of hang these encounters off of it, you know, like the leaves on a tree. So that's what I've been doing with encounters, and I like this idea of mashing two tables together. So the other thing I tried was maybe for each entry rolling up kind of twice and seeing, you know, what matchups you got. So you know, for argument's sake, you know, do you get a Manticore and a band of gnolls on the same line, you know, and what's the story? You know, straight away, once you've got two things, two results on that table, they you can play them off each other, and, you know, you're already getting a little story going just from them two rolls, and you can flesh that out a bit if you want, or you can just leave it like that and see what happens on the day. So yeah, my plan when I get the cards to the table is to cross out each encounter as I use it. Then at the in between sessions, I'll just erase the use lines and repopulate with new encounters. So these cards will be constantly evolving, and, you know, as they get worn out, you know, I'll just rewrite them or whatever. But yeah, so that's how I intend to go on with those. Well, so I've waffled enough about random encounter tables. I just want to put a shout out for Plundergrounds on Anchor. It's a new Anchor cast by none other than Ray Otis. Now, I think Ray does some great stuff. He's got a website called Jellysaw. It's either Jellysaw or Jellysaw Games. But the reason I mention this is because there's a game on there called Goblin Town. And I've run this a few times for my group and had an absolute blast with it. I'm not going to go into details now because to do it justice, I need to do a little bit of research. But Ray, as a designer, I think he has some really, really great ideas, and he's been on Discord, and we've had a few exchanges talking about one thing and another. But yeah, give his Anchorcast a listen and check out some of his games. He also does a sort of a Dungeon World related zine, and that's also called Plundergrounds. And I've had a little bit of a look at that in the past when I was thinking of starting a Dungeon World game, but I never got it off the ground. And I'm actually, in fact, I was talking on Discord with Ray about a World of Dungeons, so I'm probably gonna spend a little bit of time looking at that. And if you're listening, Ray, I hope you are. Well, this will be a waste of time. But I've printed off my copy of Stay Frosty now, which was something that Ray mentioned, and it's basically, I think it's described as a sort of a gritty sci-fi version of the Black Hack, kind of along the same vibe as Mothership, which has been getting some attention by myself and Jason and a few of the guys on Discord. So yeah, Plundergrounds, check it out.
Hey Colin, Rich from Cockatrice Nuggets. You really got my brain steaming here. I like this mob rule thing, right? I'm reading Creature Codex, and there's a bar brawl or something like that, a barroom swarm. It's kind of the same way, but if you've got 3 guys and you're rolling 3 attacks and rolling 3 damage each time, it's still kind of the same as rolling for a party, right? I mean, you could toss the dice all at the same time. That saves a little time, but not that much. I have a chart that I go to. It says the plus to hit, the number of creatures, and how many it takes to get 1 hit. So plus 2 out of 15, every 2 guys will hit. So if there's 4 guys, that's 2 hits. It sounds kind of like the DMG thing, but I'm going to keep stewing on this and thinking about it because I like your ideas, I like where you're going, splitting everything up. It sounds good. So I'll talk to you soon.
Thanks, Rich. Good thoughts as ever. I plugged you last time. I'll plug you again. Cockatrice Nuggets. I really enjoy the thoughts and the look behind the curtain there with Rich Fraser and what he's doing in his game. And he's cool. His last call in there was relating to this kind of thing I'm doing at the moment. I'm trying to kind of come up with a way of some like mob rules for players. Like I say, they're in the DMG, page 250. It's sort of a way of dealing mostly with monsters. Josh Beckelheimer came in with a good suggestion on the Audio Dungeon Discord there. He talked about Tunnels and Trolls, and I had a little look at that, and yeah, I think that could work. I'm not sure how I would do that, but it's that level of simplicity I'm looking for. There was also a suggestion from Cody M about there was a blog post, I can't remember who it was by, but it was like a one roll combat resolution, and that was a little bit sparse for me, but I was thinking perhaps like a 3 strikes and you're out type of thing, a bit similar to the death saves. Maybe if the combat just lasted, because for me, maybe 3 to 5 rounds is about the sweet spot. So if I could do a little combat engagement, that sort of length of time, especially in 1-to-1 games, I think that would be ideal. So, yep, I'm still thinking about that. If anybody's got any more thoughts, please call in. I haven't got very far with it. Like I say, it's just those ideas that I've already talked about and sort of stuff that Rich is talking about there. But I did look at some war game rules, also from the mysterious Cody M. He made a couple of suggestions. I've downloaded one set, and I can't remember what the name of those are. But there's on the last... It's about a 12 or 14-page document, I want to say. And on the last couple of pages, it's talking about kind of theatre of the mind, mass combat. So I haven't checked them out yet, but I will do. There you go then. Following my last delve into the archives, I got a call in from my old buddy John Large of Red Dice Diaries, and he's got some constructive thoughts on this topic of mob rules. So without any further ado, let's hear what Mr. Large has got to say. Take it away, John.
Hey Colin, it's John here from the Red Dice Diaries, just listening to your Goliath hunting party episode, and you're asking for input on running a couple of big groups of NPCs against each other. Now, I forget where I sort of found this system. I didn't come up with it. Someone else suggested it on one of the forums or Discords that I'm in. But basically, what I tend to do is you take the number of attacks that each person has in each party and you roll a d6 for each of those attacks. So if you've got 2 trolls, each of which have 3 attacks, you would be rolling 6d6. And then for every 5 or 6 you get, they do their average amount of damage against the other side, effectively. So all you really need to do is just pick up a big handful of d6s, roll them, count up the 5s and 6s, and then deduct that amount of damage from the opponent's hit points. It's a simple system, but it works for me. Anyway, enjoy the episode, dude. Take care.
And that, as they say, is a wrap. Big thanks goes out to you, the listener, for taking a bit of time out of your day to listen to old Spike Pit. Take care, and I'll catch you later.